Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing School Stories Part 3. And this will be more into high school. I'm trying out different editing styles here, and so yeah, I've been using Premiere, so that's why the video quality is actually really good. Okay? But yeah, I don't fully know what I'm going to indulge in, but I'll try my best. I think School Stories Part 3 will definitely be the bigger contender as my videos get bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's it. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they get more quality to it. So, I hope that you like School Stories Part 3. So this first school story will actually start out from the beginning of my school year. This was basically orientation, and I really did not want to be there, okay? Well, when I was there, I was really a bastard to my core, okay? I was an asshole. Like, they were asking, hey, who here's from another country? Well, back then, I would say, that's pretty cool. Now I'm like, well, why do we care about any other country besides America, okay? Obviously, it was really because I just did not want to be there. Well, that was like one string. Another one was that we had a teacher named Miss Wigger, okay? And I said on the microphone, because I did not want to be there, I said, why is your name a slur, okay? Got everyone's attention, brother. Which I think is pretty funny. Like, Wigger does mean a white N-word. But, I can't say the full video because this is my public alias, so I'm not doing that. But, stuff like that. Well, later on, we go over to this Spanish room for orientation, and I'm with, this buddy Kento, and we're like, man, we're hungry, we want to get some snacks, and we see, these kids grabbing snacks, so I'm like, hey, can we get snacks? And they're like, take as much as you want, and I'm like, okay, and so we just grab a lot of snacks, and then the teacher was like, oh, you try to steal from us, and blah, 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 and so we had to go to the fucking principal's office, first day, by the way, I might add, and, fucking, I didn't even realize what I was doing. I thought, our principal, whose name was Dr. Vaden, I thought she had grandchildren, because something I don't know, and so I said, technically, you're a grandma, and she was like, oh, so I guess I'm a grandma. I'm like, because I didn't realize that she didn't have any children, and so, holy shit, I called the fucking principal grandma, which, in my defense, a little bit of a miscommunication, but you know what? Later on in the year, second semester, she was able to hold my baby Luna. So you know what? I think we made up for that. But that was a pretty that was a story, all right. I'll give you that. But I did not really face any trouble because what could they really do? But good way to start out the year, So, this first story will be about me crashing out horribly, by the way, and I do blame myself for this. I don't think I can really excuse what I did, but I didn't really face any consequences for this action. What it was is that I had just gotten, braces and, spacers put in, okay? And if you don't know what spacers are, they basically put these, fucking rubber bands in between your, teeth, and what it does is that it tries to separate your teeth, okay, gradually, and it hurts to bite down on anything, okay? So, I'm just it's Friday, people are leaving early, and so I was trying to make sure I was gonna leave early too. Well, what I did not fucking realizes that me trying to dismiss myself early, I set it for June 1st and not May 1st. And so, a little bit of a bureaucratic error on that. But then they were like, oh, sorry, we can't really change that, blah, blah, blah. And some bullshit, okay? I don't fully remember all the big picture, but basically, then I had my phone, okay? Now, I'll tell you the story of why that's so important, but long story short, I had to basically turn on my phone every day, and I did not want to do it, okay? So I was doing the best thing in my... I was trying to do the best, thing I could do to make sure I did not give my fucking phone to the person who I will tell you later, I had to give to, okay? Now, blah, 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 shit happens, and so we have to go to Dr. Vaden, okay? Because, people find out I have my phone. Well, I have two TAs with me, okay, one-on-ones, and one of the kids that they would usually be watching recently left, okay, and it was a senior, and he was just gone, okay, because he leaves early. Well, they're like, hey, I'm just gonna stick with you because such and such is gone. I'll call him RC, okay. RC was gone, and my two TAs were watching me the entire time. Well, they did not care. Also, I will say, they don't care. They didn't care that I had my phone on me. They really just didn't want to get in trouble, and they didn't want to get me in trouble. And so, I love them for that, but they did not, they were basically there just to make sure I wasn't doing anything bad, blah, blah, blah. And so, when we had to go, I was getting so mad because I was trying to call my dad, I was trying to, make sure that I was leaving, and I did not want to give my phone to the person, okay? So, I basically crash out, and I make every fucking teacher alerted, and even the SROs, because we have, I believe, 2 or 3 SROs in our high school. I go to Ravenwood, so, we have, 2 or 3 SROs, so very safe high school, but, they get alerted, and they come up, they're like, hey, is everything okay here? And they're like, oh, it's fine, he was just blah, blah, whatever excuse we had, okay? Now, do I blame myself? Yes, I definitely think there's a better way of handling this. I think there would have been a much better way of expressing the emotions, but, they basically chalked it up a week later, okay, in a manifestation meeting, which is basically just, oh, your AP, which usually protects you with shit like this, you're basically fine. You're not gonna get in trouble, and we're actually gonna let you have your phone, and we don't think that the punishment of taking your phone will work anymore, okay? So, that's a good thing. But yeah, basically me just crashing out. A story about me crashing out. How cool. But I thought this was a pretty interesting story because, when we were actually with the principal that we were with, they had to quickly leave because some kid was, saying that they were gonna kill themselves. Holy shit, that was a fucking day, I tell you what. But, all that stuff, I'm not even sure the kid killed themselves, but, stuff happens. But yeah. So in my high school, at the start of the day, if you get here before the bell rings, you can get breakfast, okay? The breakfast is pretty good, only a couple things are really good, like the French toast, the French toast sticks, the sausage biscuit, and the hash browns. Those are really the only good ones, in my opinion. Now, excuse me. Anyways, I had to burp. Now, I usually would hang out with 2 tables, okay? One table with a group with like friends from my old from my old middle school. The other one with like the sophomores and juniors, okay? Well, I was just saying the most outrageous fucking bullshit that I could utter. And we were also talking about Spider-Man, okay? Or something like that. I think I was just talking about Spider-Man, and then someone agitated me, and I just talked shit about them. And so, like, we were talking about powers and what would you do with Spider-Man powers, and I was like, oh, I would swing around buildings and blah blah blah. Well, for some reason, this girl thought I said that I would swing web on her. Okay? Like, holy fucking shit. Okay? Well, another friend of mine, okay, basically got dragged into this because she wanted him to, like, back her up in front of the principal or the assistant principal. Okay? This assistant principal basically was the one who managed all the freshmen. Okay? So, we did not really like her because she was kind of like a dick to all of us. But, you know, her name was Dr. Eaton, by the way. E-T-E-N. I know, it's fucking gay, and it hurts to say. And by the way, we quite literally call her Slappy, okay? Or Botox lady. Because she looks like, she has Botox, a shit ton of Botox, by the way. And she looks like Slappy the puppet, okay? And obviously I'm not gonna dox her full name. Like, Dr. Ian's a pretty common name, but you know, with RHS and all that, you know. Well, I was basically dragged aside when I was in my 4th period, which is pre-law, and I see my friend, we'll call him N. Well, my friend N, he was like, I don't know what's going on, and I didn't know what's going on either. And like, what happened before, okay, which I forgot to mention, is that the girl said, "What'd you say to me?" And I was like, "You heard what I said, bitch," because, I never back down from shit, okay? And so, unless if I actually believe I should, but at this moment, I didn't know what she was even trying to get mad at me for, okay? So I got mad that she, like, tried talking back at me, and so I said what I said, bitch, get in your fucking line. And so, she came over and she bitch slapped me, and I got mad, but I wasn't so mad to where I was gonna beat the shit out of her, okay, because I don't hit women, okay, that's me, though. Well, I thought her pointing me aside, she was, like, trying to address, her hitting me. No! This motherfucker, okay, goes to the principal and complains that I said I webbed on her, okay? And the principal, by the way, did not even punish her, okay? And by the way, fuck. I'm gonna blur that out, okay? I'm gonna blur that name out. N did not know, okay, what was going on, okay? And then when he did realize, he was just trying to, like, he was just trying to, like, side with her, kind of, because he was so scared of what the principal would do. He didn't know, like, what was gonna happen, and he didn't even fully remember. So he was just going with what G said, which is the girl, okay? He was just saying with what the girl said, and so it was kind of bullshit. And then later when I was with him in the hallway, I was like, I remember what I was said now, and it was about swinging web around buildings, because I asked M, this friend, what you would do with Spider-Man powers, and he said, and I said, swing around buildings, and N was like, oh yeah, you did say that. And so I had to face, like, a day in ISS in the fucking schedule thing, to where I had to turn in my phone every single day. For a fact, I didn't do that shit. And so, it was some bullshit. And by the way, that girl later on raped that fucking friend. So what a bitch, I will say. That is a real bitch. Okay? I'm obviously not gonna say the full name. I'm not gonna dox the kid. That's quite literally evil to do. Okay? But you understand, it really pissed me off. And I did not like that one bit. Okay? But, I dealt with the consequences, blah, blah, blah. And for the time, I did it, kind of accept it because, blah, blah, blah. I made fun of her, and I said shit I shouldn't have, but, her saying I webbed on her, that's something I did not, say I did. Okay, I 100% denied that. Now, she said, okay, because I apologized to her, she said, well, if you do that again, I'll beat your ass. And I was like, bitch, you really want to fucking do that? You want to really, agitate the person who just unwillingly apologized to you, okay? Right after you slap them in the face? Bitch, you want to fucking go? And, I don't usually hit women, but there are very specific times where I really don't care, okay? But, that really did piss me the fuck off, okay? And so I told the teacher that was right next to me, I was like, I don't want to apologize shit to this bitch, okay? And so I had to deal with the consequence, blah, blah, blah. I had a day in ISS. But you know what? Not everything was so bad, and I gotta spend some time with a friend. Even though that friend did do an armed robbery with a 17-year-old, which, it's crazy. But, that was a pretty fucked up story, Didn't really like it. But, For this final school story, it won't be one big story. It'll just really be what I did at the end of the school year, or at least the start of the end, okay? The beginning of the end. Well, what we did, basically, what most kids did, was play hacky sack, and it was pretty fun. For the entire time, kids just really played hacky sack and got their work done. And I think that's really, an amazing thing for people to do. What I also did was I worked on assignments, finished some projects, literally got Adobe because I was trying to, work on assignments and do all that. But, all that. Well, come to find out later that my history teacher, Mr. Edmondson, he basically went to another school, okay? Or he's going to another school, okay? And one of my TAs, Mr. Jacob, he basically is going to be a coach or a PE coach for another high school. So, that's pretty sad that I wouldn't be seeing them again. But you know what? Things move on, And yeah, another thing is that Dr. Vaden, she's gone now. She used to be the principal of that high school for 25 fucking years, okay? Or, however long that school lasted, okay? And so, stuff like that, however long that lasted, however long RHS has been, Vaden was the principal. And she recently just announced her retirement with William Boyd, okay, or Mr. Boyd, who was a history teacher. And so, that was pretty nice. I like history professor, actually. So, that's pretty nice. Pretty good. But, we also did other stuff, I really can't say, anything else. What we also did was just play games. We really just chilled out. Most kids in my class didn't really care. We were doing final exams, so I really just cheated on most of my shit. Okay, I'm gonna be real honest. I'm gonna be dead ass. I cheated on most of my end of course exams. Okay. And yeah, that's stuff happens. But you know, it's pretty fun. I liked the end of the school year, and you know, I think growing up, going forward, I even went back to my old school a few weeks ago, or just a week ago. I biked all the way over to my old school and went over to the places where I didn't fully understand. Okay, like there was this big generator, and I didn't fully know all of it. There's also this big trail, and I didn't fully know all of it. And so, you know, I discovered new things that I never really knew until today. And so, you know, it was a pretty good memory. Pretty good, you know. And I just listened to the song Miserable Now. So, yeah. But this video is running on for already 20 minutes and more. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It really would help out the channel. Okay, I do still want to do good. Check out WmtLiam.org. When it's up, I'll announce it. It'll basically be all my comics. It'll be any information. It'll be all my. It will also be every single video from this point forward, even this video, and it won't have any ads. Okay, there will be no ads on any of the videos inside my website. There are no ads on my website. Okay, it's my own domain, and I can do whatever I want with it. And so, I guess. But you know, I will try even more on YouTube, and this is a real momentous day for us and the community, for the WMT community. Let's go. But you know, I really like you guys, and I'll try to make School Stories Part 4 next year, because, you know, I have no school stories really left anymore. But yeah, no school stories that I actually want to, like, say, at least. But you know what? I saw some friends that went over to Nolensville, and they were pretty happy to see me. So yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.